man, was that last song a banger or what, man? Oh my God, man. I might have to replace this song with that one. Hint, hint, I think Salamonster and I found our new theme for TNT tomorrow. Oh my God, man. Oh my goodness. Ladies and gentlemen, story, man. Some people get it, some people don't. Tonight, you all saw why story is king. It's the most important thing that we do here, man. It's the most important thing in the world of pro wrestling. Story. If you don't got it, you got AEW, man. Oh! What a night, man. What a night. Raw was a banger. We got some banger tunes playing in the venue. And speaking of kings, haven't even said a word yet, man. We got 2,200 people waiting in the venue, man. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna walk on in. I'm gonna say, hey, yo, barkeep, give me an old-fashioned with 2 cherries. And when I walk in and look at you guys, I want to know on this Monday night, what the fuck are you guys drinking? I'll see you over there.
Why has Triple H been so successful? Why is Triple H running WWE better than Vince McMahon and Bruce Pritchard on Monday and Friday night? Long-term booking.
What is going on, guys? Thank you so very much for joining me right here on Monday night. It is Monday night, December 2nd, 12th. I can't wait till Santa Claus, man. That's how excited I am. December 2nd, 2024. I am your host, JD from New York. As always, coming to you live from the OTS venue inside my mother's basement. Thank you guys so very much for joining me on this Monday evening, wherever you may be. And oh my goodness, we got a $100 super chat, and Adam Bomb Like someone in the chat said from my guy, Casper with a $100 super chat. Happy Monday night, JD and everybody. Tonight's Monday Night Raw was awesome from beginning, middle, and the end. It's all about story and long-term booking. OTS for life. Adam Casper. Yeah, I'm excited for Santa Claus. Now, I'm not talking about that Santa. No, I'm not talking about him. But, man, oh, man, it felt like Christmas today for Monday Night Raw, man. Oh, my goodness. We got a damn good fucking show tonight, man. Really, really good stuff from WWE tonight. Killed it tonight. Story. I don't know how many times I got to tell you, man. Story is everything. I say it every week. You guys know my MO. You guys know what I'm about. Long-term booking. Long-term storytelling. If you don't got it, you don't got shit. And that's exactly what WWE did tonight, man. They have been planting the seeds very, very slowly for what we're seeing going into Survivor Series, which occurred on Saturday night. Not the best Survivor Series by a long mile, but it did plant seeds for what is to come in the next several months. Coming out of Survivor Series, going into Monday Night Raw, we're going to slowly start to get that story, and it's going to become a little bit more prevalent in what Triple H's vision really is going into WrestleMania 41. And we saw a little bit of that tonight on Monday night in both the opening segment and then the segment that occurred at the top of the 9 o'clock hour with the New Day. And I'm going to start with the New Day because that was the most important thing on their show. That was pretty much the segment that the show was built around. And I think we all kind of anticipated the return of Big E Langston, also known as Big E. Big E returned tonight to WWE television for the first time since he broke his neck. The New Day have been planting seeds for this story for several weeks, months. And it all led to this 10-year anniversary, 10-year celebration segment for both Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston, who have been without Big E for all of 2024. They hit hard times. It was a very rocky year for the New Day. They could not get on the same page for a lot of this year. They have not been tag team champions in many years. They were once the most overpushed tag team in the WWE, not named the Usos, Jimmy and Jey Uso. One of the most decorated tag teams in all of the company, in all of WWE history. And the New Day have been a feature on Monday night regularly for the last 10 years. It's very difficult to do. Obviously, not minus the hiccups. Kofi's been injured. Xavier's been injured a few times. Big E, we know what happened to Big E. He's been out. And nobody really thought that he'd be back on WWE television ever again. Never mind, what we saw tonight. People are not giving him much hope to get clearance to get back into the ring and actually resume his career. After last week, everybody was anticipating this segment with the New Day because both Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston threw bombs at each other and basically like friends, best friends who were just separating and tearing apart at the seams were throwing jab after jab after jab after jab at each other, where Kofi mentioned to Xavier Woods that he's not good enough on his own to win a singles championship like he and Big E were because they were WWE champions and he was not. That he won the King of the Ring and Kofi Kingston had to help him win King of the Ring and even held his cape for him when he did. Xavier Woods threw the fabled 6-second loss to Brock Lesnar 5 years ago on SmackDown when they debuted on Fox. Kofi lost to Brock Lesnar in 6 seconds. Kofi's still not over that. I don't think he will ever get over that. Obviously, we heard about Kofi Mania and how Xavier basically took credit for Kofi and Kofi Mania. Reason why Kofi won the WWE Championship from Bryan Danielson was because of Xavier Woods. And he wouldn't be able to do it without Xavier. Kofi thinks he's a Hall of Famer. Before Xavier even joined the group, he took exception to all these jabs from Xavier last week, which brought us to tonight. That was the big blow-up last week. Obviously, the weeks leading to that blow-up, they've been losing matches, miscommunication. Xavier's getting frustrated. Kofi's getting frustrated. Kofi even gave Xavier the ball to run with and told him, all right, you want a quarterback? You call the plays, bro. Let's do it. And Xavier still couldn't get the job done, which partially proved Kofi right, because if Xavier's the quarterback and he's calling the plays and he's the playmaker for the New Day and they still can't win, then everything that Kofi said about Xavier not being good enough kind of rings true. We come to tonight, and the one thing that I've been leaning on, and the one thing many people have been leaning on, is the fact that this story is very unpredictable. We don't know which way the wind is going to blow for Xavier Woods or Kofi Kingston. It was obviously set up to a point where everybody was anticipating this split between both of them, and then goodbye. They both go their separate ways. No more New Day. I, for one, would have loved to see Xavier Woods be a singles performer. I think he's got breakout potential. I do think that he's not been given a fair opportunity to do the real singles push. Kofi has, Big E has, Xavier has not. He's tested the waters a little bit here and there, but he hasn't been given a full-fledged run like Kofi or Big E throughout his WWE tenure. I would have loved to see that. And like I said, the one thing that people were hanging on was the unpredictability of this entire story that they've been mapping out for months. One week you would figure and watch Monday Night Raw and make a conclusion that, well, it looks like Kofi's turning heel. Looks like Kofi's turning heel. Then the next week they kind of swerve you and go in the opposite direction. Oh man, after watching the next week's Monday Night Raw, you kind of get a feeling that Xavier's going heel. They both gave you reasons. WWE wrote this story and gave the fans multiple different reasons, good reasons, why Kofi could turn heel and why Xavier could turn heel. We didn't know. We didn't know at all. The unpredictability of it really captivated people's interest. And then we get to tonight. And we get the New Day segment. Everything is fancy, and they got a big box of cereal, and they got New Day memorabilia like you were walking through a New Day wing in the Hall of Fame. And they got the crown that Xavier won with King of the Ring, and they got pictures and plaques, and they got unicorns and rainbows, cereal, you name it. It was definitely New Day out on Monday night for this segment. They got the red carpet treatment. Fans in Everett, Washington were over the moon to see the New Day and celebrate with the New Day. They were about to call it quits. They were about to split and end the New Day. The New Day was going to be no more. End of an era. All of a sudden, Big E comes out. So good to see Big E back on WWE television. You could tell. Nobody knows Big E, obviously, here and anywhere on the web, the World Wide Web. But Big E and his Players Tribune article today, if you guys didn't read it, I urge you to go find it and go check it out. One of the most likable individuals you could probably ever come across. The positivity that he has as a genuine human being in all facets of his life, man. I'm kind of envious. Kind of jealous that he lives his life with that positivity and that upbeat attitude and that happiness every single day. Sometimes it's difficult to wake up, man. You don't want to wake up. You want to lay in bed all day. You don't want to attack the day like you should. People have bad days. People have many bad days, strings of bad days. I know I've been there. But to read him and what he's gone through, to where he is now in his life, and he still keeps that same attitude, man. That is a quality that is just pure. And like I said, I'm envious that I can't be like that, or my family and the people that I know can't be that way. It's just an eye opener. The people like that do exist out there. So to see him back on WWE television, really, I would be lying to you guys, all 3,200 of you in here now. I would be lying to you if I said I did not get a little watery-eyed seeing Big E out there. The way Big E projects his voice and the way he speaks, it's just very motivating. It's a very positive delivery from Big E. So when he's out there, obviously, everything that this man was going to be saying since we last saw him, and now we know what he's been through. Everything that this man said, every word that came out of this man's mouth was going to strike you right here. Because everybody's happy to see him, and everybody's happy that he is looking great. He looks great. He did not want the New Day to end. No, we're not going to end it that way. He explained himself. We'll get into detail what happened. We'll go over the dialogue a little bit later when we get to that particular part of the show. He explained himself, how the New Day was important to him, what it meant to him, what they sought the New Day to be, how they got started. Basically going over the fact that him and Xavier were basically on the cusp of being fired by Vince. Vince didn't have any real use for them besides the New Day. And then the New Day got over big. And then that kind of changed Vince McMahon's mind on it all. And then the unpredictability happened. And I don't really think anybody saw this coming. Because Kofi, at the beginning of this segment, before Big E came out, told everybody that he spoke to Woods over the past week and that the news they were about to tell everybody is not going to be good news. They were basically going to go their separate ways, and the New Day was going to be over. Big E came out to basically bring everybody back together. And then the unpredictability happened where both Xavier and Kofi both blamed Big E for the existing problems in the New Day. And they told him, after Big E exclaimed to them, I don't want to see this go to shit. We're going to do our thing like we usually do, and I am going to be on Monday Night Raw every single week until, this is the big part, until I'm medically cleared. Those words, we'll get back to that important aspect of his quote a little bit later, because that really gives you the idea of where he and his mentality is. I am going to be operating as your manager. So basically, he was going to be the positivity in the New Day's corner that they needed to stay together, to see this thing work itself out. No, they turned on him, man. Not physically. They turned on him emotionally. Now, you literally saw their character and demeanor change right live on television, that this went from sadness, this went to hope. It went from sadness to hope to just straight up anger and being a prick. You saw 3 levels of the New Day. 3 levels of Kofi and Xavier on Monday Night Raw tonight. They told Xavier that, oh, now you want to come back. Now you want to be back, and you want to be back every day. Where were you the entire year? Kofi even threw it in his face saying, yeah, your neck, oh, my neck. Yeah, neck surgery, a neck injury that you didn't even get surgery on. A neck injury that didn't even require you to get surgery. And then they brought up Stone Cold Steve Austin and Kurt Angle and their neck issues. Stone Cold Steve Austin was back like this on Monday night, back on the show, back doing his thing after his neck injury, basically calling Big E a fraud, telling him that he got comfortable sitting behind a desk, pushing pencils, doing executive work, basically putting his life before the New Day, putting his new love interest, his new girlfriend, before the New Day, all his new projects and all his new ventures in life before the New Day. Meanwhile, both Xavier and Kofi, when they needed him most, he wasn't there. And the reason for the New Day split is basically Xavier and Kofi blamed Big E for the current state of the New Day as we see it today. They left this man begging. This is it. This is how we're going to end it. This is how we're going to end the New Day. This is what you did to me on my return back. This is the thanks I get. This is what you're going to do. You're going to throw 10 years away. Big E was legitimately in the ring. He did not want to leave the ring begging. He left the ring. Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston basically shook hands and said, this is just us now. The New Day is just us. And the segment abruptly came to an end and they went to a commercial break. They didn't languish on Big E. They didn't focus on Big E. Camera didn't follow Big E and really get a glimpse of his emotions going to the back through the curtain. Never in my thoughts that I think, yeah, we're going to turn on Big E. But they got you. Told you, man, the unpredictability of this angle really was the big selling point for a lot of people. Oh, Xavier's going heel. Oh, it's going to be Kofi. Oh, what about both of them? What about both of them just turning on Big E? What is the most dastardly, what is the most heel-like thing to do? It's probably what was discussed in the creative meeting when they went over this angle on this story. How do we make it the most effective? If we're going to go heel, how do we do it and just have it come off dastardly? Kofi turning on Xavier? Xavier turning on Kofi? Yeah, maybe. Maybe they don't turn heel on each other and they just kind of wait. And they kind of take a page out of the Bret Owen playbook back in 1994. 1993 going into 1994. Now we'll just turn on Big E. Turning on Big E is going to get everybody in the fields, man. They're going to pull on the heartstrings because everybody loves Big E. How could you do Big E dirty? Big E's got the broken neck. Big E's got a fucking career that may not even be a career anymore. And we're going to turn on him. It's fucking brilliant. Just brilliant storytelling. This was great fucking television. This was some of the best television that WWE has produced all year. This is the best New Day story in their 10 years. This is the most excited anybody's been about the New Day. And they're great. But they haven't been super interesting. I think they'd be the first ones to tell you that too. It almost felt like the WWE was passing them by and they were old news. They fit in the previous administration, but they didn't really find themselves in this new Paul Levesque administration yet. Now they have. So the vibe that we got from this is they're blaming Big E and basically calling him a fraud. They basically called him out on his neck. But Big E said, I will be back on Monday Night Raw every single week to be your manager until my neck is cleared. Until I'm medically cleared. Until I'm medically cleared means that this man is working his way back to in-ring competition. And kudos to him, man. Don't know. I will never know. Nobody will ever know what that type of mind fuck will be. To go through what he went through and then come back and wrestle again, my first instinct would be, no, man, I'm not getting back in the ring again. This man is working towards an in-ring comeback. That's what he's doing. They blamed him. Now the story is Big E. The story now is Big E getting back at them. The story is Big E proving them wrong. You will see Big E again. You will see Big E back in a WWE ring. You will see Big E get medical clearance by WWE Medical. Big E will be in the Royal Rumble. That's my prediction. The story now is proving both Xavier and Kofi wrong. This is the most perfect way to handle Big E's absence. By blaming him and then him coming back and proving both of them wrong to a point where they end up getting back together when he's fully medically cleared and we get the New Day back 100% as strong as ever. The whole storyline is like a fairy tale. To see the sunshine, you got to go through a couple of rainy days, man. Right now, it's rainy days in the New Day. That rainbow and that big, great feeling of the warmth of the sun is Big E. That's going to be the saving grace of the New Day. They're not going to be heels forever. They're going to be heels in the moment right now. Because all those emotions that came back, you see Big E, and they immediately said, you know what? The reason for what we're going through right now and the reason for us being as weak as we are is because we were waiting for you to get back. Everything that we did, we waited for you. And now you want to come back? Where the fuck were you for the last 15 months? You watched us from afar struggle. And now you want to come back? We're about to end this thing? They feel like they had every reason to do what they did. The power of positivity is now the power of negativity. I love it. This is why I always proclaim story is everything, man. When you don't got story and you don't have characters that you're emotionally invested in, the television that you produce means nothing. It means nothing. I don't want to bring them up every time I talk about what WWE does right and what they do wrong. You don't even need to say the name of the other place. You know what they're not doing right. And every time I see something like this, and every time I get emotionally invested, I mean, for the love of Christ, we're grown men and women in this fucking chat, 3,700 of you. Another few of you on Twitch who watch this man come out and watch the interaction between these three individuals that we've welcomed into our home for 10 years. And it hits you right here. And it makes you want to tear up. And it makes you want to just feel what they're feeling. If you don't got that type of storytelling, man, if you don't have that type of emotion, what do you got? You got nothing. And the funny thing is, this level of storytelling is only going to be better as we go on through the month of December. We get to that Netflix premiere on January 6th, and then we go into Saturday night's main event in January, and then the Royal Rumble. WWE is going to continue to throw several more logs on the fire, man, and that fire is going to be burning very, very, very hot. And you saw a little bit of that tonight. Monday Night Raw was better than Survivor Series, to be quite honest with you. Why? Not because it had better in-ring action than Survivor Series. Because they gave you a reason to care. They gave you story. I was more invested in the 2 hours that we got tonight than the 4 hours that we got on Saturday. Stories about Big E now. And there's no doubt in my mind that Big E is working his way back to be medically cleared. And he will be medically cleared next year. And that's going to be a great moment. CM Punk. CM Punk opened the show. Very happy to see CM Punk back on my television on Monday night. Feel like without him, there's just a huge gaping hole in the show. Something is missing, fierce, when he's not there. Which I guess you could mean that's a good thing of how important he is to the company. But it's also like, all right, well, why don't we have anybody else on this show stepping up when he's not there? WWE is going to be operating at full strength, all hands on deck from this point on going into January. Punk being back on television is sorely needed. He was in War Games on Saturday night. And he came out and told everybody exactly what he wants. And he pointed to an imaginary WrestleMania sign that is not hung up yet, but it will be hung up as soon as we get to the Royal Rumble. The WrestleMania 41 logo. He was pointing to it as if it was there tonight on December 2nd. Obviously, the one man that has a problem with him and his desires to main event WrestleMania, because he doesn't agree with him being back. He doesn't agree with him and how he's handled himself being back. He doesn't agree with him teaming with Roman Reigns. is Seth Rollins. And we got physicality for the first time since CM Punk's been back in WWE between Rollins and CM Punk. No injuries, no setbacks. Two guys that are 100% as healthy as they could be. And we got a little physicality. We got a little shove. Got a little brawl. We got some anger. We got a great promo. Some of which I thought was a shoot. Then we get Sami Zayn. And Sami Zayn and Seth Rollins going at it. And in the entirety of everything that happened and transpired in the opening 25 minutes, Jey Uso gets attacked backstage. But by whom? By whom? Rollins is blaming Punk because he believes Punk is not to be trusted. Sami thinks it's him, Seth, that attacked Jey Uso. Or was it a returning Scottish psychopath at the end of the show? Did Drew McIntyre, who returned tonight at the end of the Seth Rollins and Sami Zayn main event, was he the one who attacked Jey Uso? Maybe it was none of the people that we saw on television tonight. Maybe it was The Rock. Maybe The Rock attacked Jey Uso. And we won't find out till we get to January 6th. It's too easy to blame Drew McIntyre. We'll go over one of the primary reasons why I think Drew McIntyre is being considered as the attacker of Jey Uso. And he's back tonight. And Monday Night Raw fucking cooked. Story was cooking tonight on Monday night. And we're going to go over all. Thank you guys very much for joining me here on this Monday Night Raw. Oh my goodness, we got Alex with a $139 super chat. He says, JD, been a fan of yours since the dark ages of WWE in 2019. Keep killing it. An amazing show tonight. Triple H cooked like Chef Ramsay. P.S. You should change your intro to why is Triple H running WWE better than TK on Wednesday nights? Long-term booking. OTS for life. Alex, I appreciate you, brother. Thank you so very much, man. And, that's not the first time that I have been asked to change the intro, man. I might have to hit up my guy who made that intro and change that for everybody, because that is the growing sentiment nowadays between both WWE and AEW. But we got a big week ahead of us, man. We got a big week ahead of us. We'll talk AEW on Wednesday. Jesse will be back. Week 2 of the Continental Classic. The return of Collision Corner. And a goal for the OTS community that is going to be so over that I may find myself doing something at the end of the year that I might not want to do. Tune in on Wednesday. Thank you guys for joining me, man, on this Monday night. We had a great weekend. We had a great week. Closed out November incredibly strong. Survivor Series and the post show did over 60,000 views. Thank you guys very much for that. We were very critical of some of the garbage that was on the show. Justifiably so. So if you guys missed any of that, it's all on the homepage. Go and check it out. And anything else that you might have missed on the channel, man. There's plenty of content, and we have a brand new week of content this week. Tonight, obviously, we're live Tuesday Night Titans. Tomorrow, man, Jason and I, the Solid Monster, are going to tear it down tomorrow night on Tuesday Night Titans. Follow me on social media at JD from NY206. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Cameo. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for notifications. Hit that thumbs up, man. We got 3,600 people in here on a Monday night. Don't you love when people love the show and are excited to talk about the show, man? It's great. You guys are awesome, man. Super chats are open. Thumbs up. You guys know what to do with both of those. Get those super chats on in and hit that thumbs up. 1,000 likes, no question, is the minimum. I want to see the goal hit before I get to the second hour of Monday Night Raw. You know what to do. And leave me a comment. If you guys are watching after the fact, leave me a comment down below, man. The more comments you put down there, YouTube throws JD into the algorithm on YouTube, and it makes everybody happy. Let me know what you thought of the New Day. Let me know if you think Big E's coming back and wrestling full-time again. Leave me your favorite emoji. Leave me your favorite cocktail. Leave me something that you want for Christmas. It doesn't matter, man. Leave me a comment down below. And tonight's show is sponsored by my good friends over at Into the AM. IntoTheAM.com/scripts. Website is up to 60% off this week. So make sure you guys take advantage of that and go get yourself some great swag and some great gear over at Into the AM. IntoTheAM.com/script. We are going to start with the open of Monday Night Raw, which 30 minutes of the first hour were commercial-free on USA Network. Joe Tess introduced us to the show, and we got a video package from Survivor Series, all the highlights from Survivor Series that aired on Saturday night. It showed Xavier and Kofi arriving separately to the venue. And then CM Punk was walking backstage. He met with Jey Uso, hugged Jey Uso, shook Sami Zayn's hand, walked through Gorilla, walked through the curtain. And then he's the first thing that we see on tonight's show to start Monday Night Raw. Obviously, this is going to be more as the days go on, but a graphic noted that whatever happens between Roman, Punk, and Sami Zayn, there was a moment at the Survivor Series where Roman Reigns held CM Punk back in the cage and let Sami Zayn go and enter War Games. That clip on WWE social media, on Instagram, has over 104 million views, making it the most viewed Instagram reel for WWE in 2024. And if we're getting real numbers like that, wait till we get to January. It's going to be great. Punk is in the ring. Loud CM Punk chant. It's great to be alive on a Monday night in Everett, Washington. He said the arena is sold out. He said the last time they saw him, he stood on the rant fresh from a possible career-ending Hell in a Cell match, and he says he wasn't sure what the future held for him. He says he had a lot to consider after that match. He said now he stood fresh off a potential career-ending War Games match, and he knows what is next. He says he's a lot less beat up after War Games than after Hell in a Cell. I guess because he was in there one-on-one with Drew McIntyre, and he had 4 backups in the bloodline against Solo in his bloodline, so it wasn't all that bad. But he did take a beating in there, and I'm glad he survived both. Punk says he handled business with Drew McIntyre, and then he came back to take care of personal business for his friend, Paul Heyman. A light ECW chant broke out. Punk ignored them, stood on the second turnbuckle, and pointed at an imaginary WrestleMania sign. And he says he knows what the future holds as he's pointing up to it. He pointed up to the upper deck. He says he can see it, but his entire career, everybody told him it wasn't there for him. They couldn't see the vision. He said the sign isn't physically hanging there yet, but there are multiple roads you can take to get there and ways you can finish your story. He says that with an extra kind of oomph, little bass in his voice. Cody versus CM Punk is probably at the top of one of my dream matches that WWE has on the table. Does it happen at WrestleMania? I don't know. I don't know. There is a possibility. There's absolutely a possibility. But we don't really know what direction WWE is going in. They have us in the dark. Now, the only thing I could really surmise from that talking point, everybody thought we would see The Rock at Survivor Series, which would plant more seeds for WrestleMania. We did not see The Rock at the end of Survivor Series. They held on to the camera and they did this long, drawn-out, extended ending to the show, and all it was them throwing the ones in the air, and that was it. We did not see The Rock. The Rock had nothing to do with any of the bloodline, nothing to do or say to Roman, nothing to do with Heyman, nothing to do with Solo. So the only one thing I could surmise from a Rockless Survivor Series at the end is that maybe he really is going after Cody Rhodes. I don't know. I don't want to jump on the, yep, that's it, just yet. I do think that with Cody and him going on these several interviews and these different talk shows and podcasts, he has said more than once that the plans for WrestleMania keep talking about him. Keep getting the rumor mill riled up. He goes, what's coming? None of you guys are expecting what's coming. Now, I don't know what that means. What the fuck does that mean from Cody Rhodes? Because I think everybody's kind of anticipating Rock Roman. I think everybody kind of, after the WrestleMania that we got on the Raw after Mania, I think everybody's kind of thinking, well, maybe they go Rock Cody. That's what I've been going with. So what the fuck does he mean? CM Punk emphasized, finish your story tonight. Is that a seed being planted for Cody to win the Rumble or the Chamber and then challenge CM Punk at WrestleMania? I don't know, man. I don't know. I would not hate that. I don't think that's the case, though. I do think we get that, but not this year. He said the Royal Rumble might be the road he takes, or the Elimination Chamber might be the fork in the road that he chooses. He says the good news is he has a favor or two in his back pocket to go where he needs to go. There's that favor again. That favor that he said this past weekend, both on Friday and Saturday. You owe me one, to Paul Heyman. And Paul Heyman at the end of the War Game says, it's yours. Whatever it is, it's yours. What is it? Is the favor that CM Punk, is that favor that Punk is getting coming to him? Is it a WrestleMania main event? With whom? Is it a WrestleMania main event with Roman? Who is it with? It's the only thing I could possibly think of. The other thing is, I mentioned, he forces Paul Heyman to join him on the road to WrestleMania and forces Paul Heyman to leave Roman. That's his favor. Guide me on the road to WrestleMania to main event WrestleMania. Could be. Again, we don't really know. It's like the WWE stories right now, I mean, they're there. They're materializing. It's like you're driving on a fucking long, winding highway and there's nothing but fog in front of you and you got your headlights on and you still can't see shit and you're driving like 5 miles an hour because you can't see fucking 3 feet in front of you. That's what the WWE road to WrestleMania looks like right now. It's kind of hazy. It's kind of foggy. I don't know. Could be any one of these things. But that's the great thing about the current administration, man. They're keeping you on your toes. Keeping you guessing. The unpredictability, man. Love it. I invite you all to go on this journey with me, and then all of a sudden, Seth Rollins' music hits. So Wade Barrett noted that Seth refused to be a part of Roman Reigns' team at War Games. Keep that in mind. He was the first one asked. He said the issues between Seth and Punk are refusing to go away. Seth gets into the ring after fans sing a long-winded entrance of Seth Rollins. Seth is shooting Punk a stare. And then he says, I should have knocked your ass out on the same day you came back to WWE. Some people cheered that. Some people still don't want CM Punk back in the WWE, but you can't deny his fucking ability to generate interest. Company is better with Punk in it than a company without CM Punk. He should have knocked his ass out the day he came back to WWE. Seth said for the past year, every day, he's regretted not doing that. He said over that year, a lot has gotten in the way. He said Punk got hurt, and he had titles to defend and a bloodline to take down. He said the last time he saw Punk, he was close to taking a shot. Somewhere along the way, he had pity for him because he had just come out of Hell in a Cell against Drew McIntyre. He said it was a mistake. He said after Saturday, seeing him stand there triumphant, seeing him standing there next to Roman Reigns, it became crystal clear to him the time had come to rectify these mistakes. Seth then took off his jacket, which was a very ugly brown color. It was like the brown that you'd see on an old-fashioned grandma-looking couch with a fishnet top that even Shawn Michaels back in the 90s probably wouldn't have worn. Awful. I think Seth Rollins, if he's going to come out here and express himself the way that he did to CM Punk, maybe he should look the part just a little bit more. So one thing I wish that would go away, man, these goofy outfits. Took his jacket off. He said, they're standing there right now, and there's nothing in his way and nothing in Punk's way. He said the only thing between them is air and hatred. He says he had a feeling in his gut that tonight is the night he knocks Punk on his ass. He continued to stare at Punk, and Punk, he's in the opposite corner. Punk is just listening to him. He don't give a fuck what he has to say, man. He's blinking his eyes real slow. He's like, listen, motherfucker, are you done? That's the kind of facial expression that Punk had all over his face, man. It was so much yapping, man. So much yapping and nothing coming out of your mouth, man. It's like I'm back in AEW, man. Back with the Bucks. So Punk took a deep breath and says, you talk too much and you don't listen enough. Says you just came out there to say he put his personal stuff aside and he's long past running races with people he didn't even know he was racing with. He said Seth was a champ 6 months ago, and 6 months ago, Seth had something CM Punk wanted. Now Seth has nothing. I know where I'm going. I know what's in my future. And then he says, and kid, you ain't it. So fans obviously oohed and awed over him calling Rollins kid. Punk said while Seth was thinking about him over the past 6 months, he hasn't been thinking about Seth at all. He says he has things to do in this business, so stay out of my business. He stepped up to Seth's face and he said all that right in his face. Seth said Punk talks too much and he doesn't listen enough. This is my business. And then he shoves Punk down like he said he would. Punk got up. They started swinging. They brawled. Jey and Sami immediately rushed to the ring, start pulling them apart. Seth and Punk kept yelling at each other. Punk's nose was red. It looked like he got a little banged up. Adam Pearce and agents came out to assure Punk had left without getting into any additional trouble. Punk lunged towards the ring. Again, Seth stomped him as he partially made it back into the ring by diving through the ropes. Seth told Jey, go back to Roman. And then Sami gets in Seth's face and says, whoa. I get that you're angry. But you don't have the right to talk to Jey Uso that way. Seth then says, yeah, you're right. I apologize for going that way. My bad. I shouldn't have gone there. I'm just a little pissed off. Jay's family, he's bloodline. Then he looks at Sami and says, so what's your excuse, Sami? Sami stared at Seth, and fans started chanting, Sami Uso. Seth says he loves Sami Uso. He told Sami that they're closer than he is with Jey or Roman. We've come up into this business together, and we've been up and down these roads for over 20 years together. We're family. And you stabbed me in the back when you teamed with CM Punk. What did I tell you? What did I tell you guys 2 weeks ago when all of this who's the fifth man nonsense was happening? What did I tell you when I documented it almost piece by piece perfectly? Oh, JD, it doesn't make any sense. Why does Punk on Team Roman make any sense? Oh, it's Seth. Oh, it's Cody. Oh, it's Lesnar. Strike one, strike two, strike three. You're out. No. Sit down. I said it. Punk and Heyman, June 21, 2024, SmackDown, Chicago. It was a little moment that happened on Friday Night SmackDown that Friday where Punk and Paul Heyman shared the ring together and basically said, take me with you, Heyman said to Punk. So that's when that got started. And according to reports, Punk was always planned for War Games from that moment on. It started then. He was always the fifth man. Sami asked Seth Rollins, not once but twice. And Seth Rollins told him no. And what did I tell you? When Punk finishes with War Games and Punk finishes with Roman, Rollins, we didn't hear from Rollins last week. He was absent from last week's show, the taped show, but he wasn't on the show at all in any way. When he got back to the show, what was the first thing he was going to complain about? The fact that Punk teamed with Roman. He's upset by this. Why is he upset by this? Because he looks at Punk thinking he can do whatever the fuck he wants. He's Mr. Big Shot. This is his show. It's Monday Night Rollins. Punk is intruding on his territory. Punk is taking a piss in his front lawn. He's upset because he felt like he was doing the good for WWE by not giving into Roman. We help WWE rid itself of Roman, and now you want to help Roman? Rollins is the only one that stuck to his guns. Rollins is the only one who remained vigilant and saw the vision. He saw WrestleMania. Why am I helping Cody beat this guy, take the title, end the reign, end the terror, only to go back and team with him and help him get his fucking power back? What type of decision would that be if I'm Seth Rollins? That's a shitty decision. I wouldn't be the leader I am if I did that. Look at what Cody did. Rollins has got to be a lot smarter than that, man. There's got to be a fucking smart one in the bunch. Look at what Cody did and look at the problems that it's causing Cody Rhodes. He teamed with Roman. Now look, Kevin Owens hates him. Who knows what Randy Orton's thinking? Seth going to team with Roman, man, why would he do that? He's blaming Sami. You team with Roman. You team with Roman. You team with Punk. This is the same guy I tried to vanquish from the WWE. Sami says he didn't ask Punk to be on War Games, which is true. He didn't ask Punk to be on War Games. Do you think I wanted him as my tag team partner at War Games? No, I didn't. Punk was willing to help. We were down a man. He says he wanted Seth, not Punk. I asked you twice, and you said no both times. He says they wouldn't have to team with Punk if he agreed to team with them, but he's too damn stubborn. No, Seth is right. Seth is not stubborn. Seth is right. Teaming with Punk is one thing. Teaming with Roman is a completely different story. It's not that Seth is angry with Sami because he teamed with Punk. It all has to do with Roman. It's all Roman. Look at the effect Roman has on everybody, and he's not even on fucking TV every week. Look at the effect that Roman is having on Seth Rollins, and he's not even on the fucking brand. I mean, it just adds to the character of the tribal chief. It just adds to his essence over the show. He's not even on the fucking show, and everybody fucking hates him. I got a problem with him. So then, Seth asked if he's losing his mind. What did you want me to do? You wanted me to team with you. Oh, that's right, to help Roman Reigns. That's why you wanted me to team with you. To help that monster regain his power. It's exactly what I said. Exactly what I said. Sami told Seth, you know, that monster you talk about, you are the one that created that monster when you put a chair in his back 10 years ago. Now we're going back and doing a callback to when the Shield broke up and Rollins turned on Roman. Dean Ambrose looked on and he joined the Authority. And he became a Paul Levesque guy. Sami, man, Sami came with a loaded fucking gun, man, and he was shooting bullseye tonight. He made Seth look bad. Seth is not wrong, don't get me wrong, but Sami had two great rebuttals here. Now, you can't blame me for teaming with CM Punk. I asked you. I wanted you first before Punk was even a fucking thought. And Roman, you talk about the monster that we're trying to help. You're the one who created the fucking monster. Don't act like your hands are totally clean here, Seth. Seth says he understands the sins he's done, and he's apologized and atoned for that. He says he needs to look in the mirror, though, because he did the same exact thing. He said Roman treated him and Jey like shit, so he doesn't blame them. He says he understands why they sacrificed like they did to take down the bloodline. He said Roman hasn't shown even a little shred of remorse. He says that hasn't changed, nor has that snake, CM Punk. So stubbornness isn't the issue. He said Sami was gullible and naive and being really, really stupid. Sami said Punk has a lot of frustration built up, so he suggested that they wrestle each other tonight so that they could take out some frustration on each other. Seth said that's fine by him. Let's do it. This was one of the best segments on WWE television all year. We go from Punk telling everybody now that he's got his business taken care of. He beat McIntyre. He beat the Bloodline inside War Games. Obviously, teaming with Roman, aiding the Bloodline OG to take down Bloodline 2.0. Roman still doesn't have the Ulafala yet. We're going to get that one-on-one match eventually for the Ulafala. What happens after that, I don't know. Hell in a Cell, done. War Games, done. Now his business is Punk's business. Nobody else's. World Championship. Royal Rumble. Getting that opportunity. Winning the WWE title. I don't know what title Punk wants. You would think he wants the WWE title. You would think that he wants the biggest prize in the company and not the one that Gunther is holding. I think that guarantees himself a main event match at WrestleMania. I do not think whatever Gunther is doing is going to main event one of the nights of WrestleMania. I do think that he wants that WrestleMania main event. That's what he wants. Rollins is not going to allow him to get that because of the problems Rollins has with Punk. He teamed with Roman at War Games. He thinks who he is. He's running the show like he thinks it's his. He's back for a year. He thinks he's Mr. Big Shot all over again. Rollins doesn't want any of this. This is his show. Rollins is the leader. Punk is not. Everything that Punk wants, Rollins wants. This man's been gone for 10 years. He's not going to allow him to come on in and take everything he's worked his ass off because he feels Punk doesn't give a shit about the company. After 10 years, he's back now. Now you care? No, you don't. He's a fake. He's a bullshit artist. Seth Rollins has every reason to dislike and not want CM Punk there. So he's going to do everything in his power to stop that. CM Punk walked away after the brawl. We didn't see them again interact. But then you get Sami. Because now Seth's frustrations are being taken out on Jey, who's innocent. Everybody loves Jey Uso. Sami. Everybody loves Sami. Now his frustrations shift from Punk to Roman. And he's still throwing Punk under the bus. But his anger now lies with Roman. And Sami says, first of all, you don't do that to Jey. You don't talk to Jey that way. Second of all, I asked you to be on War Games. I didn't want Punk. Punk wasn't even in the discussion. I asked you twice. You said no. And Rollins and Reigns, their history being brought up, you created what you see today 10 years ago. All the callbacks, all the storytelling, all the seeds planted. I love when our intelligence is not being insulted. This is all very easy to follow. This is all great. Emotion is there. The storytelling is there. The character work is there. The end goal is there. Roman wants Azula follow back. Roman obviously is using everybody in his bloodline, and he still has not changed for the better. He's still the same Roman Reigns that we saw at WrestleMania. Sami now is being dragged into this because Rollins blaming him for teaming with Punk and now teaming with Roman. Rollins doesn't want Punk in the equation at all. He wants what Punk wants. Royal Rumble season is going to be very interesting. Roman Reigns wants Azula follow back. We don't know where Cody lies in all this. We don't know what Punk wants, Gunther or Cody. But the same reason why Rollins won't or did not want to team with Roman, just look at Cody. The answer lies right there. The guy that he helped beat Roman, he went back on and teamed with Roman, and now his world is falling apart. Rollins doesn't want any part of that at all. And the one thing that is going to need an eventual answer as soon as he gets done with Cody is, what does Kevin Owens think of Sami teaming with Roman if everybody else here mentioning Roman, Rollins, Punk? What is KO going to think? Does Kevin Owens have a problem with Sami Uso teaming with Roman Reigns? If he's got a problem with Cody Rhodes teaming with Roman Reigns, you know that his best friend in the whole fucking world is going to eventually have to answer to Kevin Owens. That is something that is logistically going to need to play out. This was incredible television. Great television. And I don't want to see these story-driven, dialogue-heavy shows every week, but man, for you to tell a story, for you to nail down all the facts, for you to get people excited about what's to come, and I'll take this segment any day over the week, over what we see on a Wednesday, on a Monday. I mean, this is just great television. That's why they call it a male soap opera. You don't need 25-minute banger matches 1,000 miles an hour every week. You don't. The matches don't really mean much of anything on weekly television. They're all background noise to play out for the bigger things that you see, and that is the story. They're just a means to an end. How one company grasps that and the other doesn't is just it's laughable at this point. It's like watching a college graduate go off to MIT and AEW's the fucking her in the back of the class with a fucking 1.7 GPA. It's like one company gets it and they're succeeding at it and they're excellent at it. One administration fucking thrives on it, and the other can't be bothered to fucking hand in the homework on time and put in the effort to fucking stand up on the podium, stand up on stage next to the podium and receive their diploma. Oh, son, where are you going to school? I'm going to clown college. It's exactly what it is on Wednesday nights. Meanwhile, we got this level of storytelling on a Monday. It's not that difficult to do when you got characters that you can emotionally invest in. It's not difficult to do when you actually have writers that know what the fuck they're doing. Instead of a fucking billionaire Mark and some half-witted fucking idiot that they took from a fucking dying podcast. Yeah, let's put him in charge of creative. Gee, I wonder why they're failing and why they generated a 500 and something thousand rating on Thanksgiving Eve. Gee, I wonder why. This was excellent television. Loved it. Judgment Day. They were backstage. We saw a clip. There was something that happened at the end of Survivor Series where Priest attacked Balor in the garage or the parking lot area, backstage area, after Survivor Series. And then it was a 4-on-1 attack on Damian Priest. Saw a clip of that. Judgment Day was shown backstage. Balor was gloating about what he did to Damian Priest. Liv asked Balor about his agreement to stay out of it. He said it was Dom's job to handle things, but since Dom can't handle things, he decided to handle it himself. So he's going back on Dom not being able to stop Damian Priest because Damian Priest eventually got a shot against Gunther. He's bothered by the fact that Damian Priest has gotten a shot against Gunther now twice. And he's gotten 0 for his troubles. He said now Priest is walking around with his hand in a sling. Ha, ha, ha. He told Liv if she listened to him, she wouldn't have lost War Games against Ria Ripley. She told Balor she hopes he knows what he's doing. Balor said when everyone listens to him, the Judgment Day always win. Raquel Rodriguez asked what he meant by that. Liv says she didn't know. Liv told Dom to go check on Balor and make sure he's all right. So Balor is obviously and very clearly creating a divide between him and the rest of the Judgment Day. Carlito is useless. J.D. McDonough, he's like the kid in class who wants to raise his hand, but the teacher calls on his other favorite student instead of him. He always raises his hand to whatever Balor says, and Balor never acknowledges it. It's like he's the good devil, or the angel, rather, on his shoulder, and the bad devil is getting in Balor's ear, but the good devil, you can't say nothing. Liv doesn't know. Completely different vibe about what's going on when she first joined Judgment Day to where we see now, and Raquel is just useless. A lackey for Liv Morgan. And Dominic, I won't be surprised if Dominic ends up leading the Judgment Day, to be quite honest with you. So he's definitely creating a divide between him and the rest of the Judgment Day. Liv Morgan, speaking of which, her and Raquel Rodriguez had a tag team match tonight against Damage Control. Io Sky, who was the MVP of War Games, and Kairi Sane. This went 4 minutes. It was announced tonight that at Saturday night's main event, it will be Liv Morgan defending the WWE Women's World Heavyweight Championship against Io Sky at Nassau Coliseum on Long Island. So right now, up until this part in the show, we got Cody defending the WWE Championship against Kevin Owens, and Io Sky will challenge Liv Morgan for the WWE Women's World Championship. So 2 matches now announced for Saturday night's main event. So this only lasted 4 minutes, and this was basically done to get Liv and Io in the same match to build towards Saturday night's main event, and then obviously, set up another angle where they quote-unquote take out Rhea Ripley and focus on the orbital bone. So Kyrie hit Rodriguez with the insane elbow. Not really much to go over here. It only lasted 4 minutes. Zayn hit Rodriguez with an insane elbow. Morgan broke up the cover. Sky wiped out Morgan with a dive. And Kyrie hit Rodriguez with a spinning back fist. However, Rodriguez came back with a big boot. So she basically no-sold the spinning back fist. And then delivered the finish, her Tejana bomb, for the 1, 2, 3, and Liv Morgan with Raquel Rodriguez defeat Damage Control. Kyrie wasn't a surprise here to take the pinfall because Io's getting the title shot, so it makes more sense to pin Kyrie than it does Io. The heels attacked Damage Control post-match, and then Rhea Ripley ran out to make the save. She fought them off for a brief moment until Rodriguez shoved her eye first on the outside into the corner of the announce table. So like last week when Braun Breaker speared himself into oblivion by going into the side of the announce table, just picture Rhea Ripley's face going into the side of the announce table, and they sold up the orbital bone injury. And that is what took her out of commission here for the moment she was out there. Not much to that. It's basically to get Io and Liv in the ring. Kyrie takes the pinfall. Io looks strong going into her title match. They're giving you, obviously, a direction as to what happens next when Liv retains the championship. Obviously, she will be wrestling Rhea Ripley, and I don't know when that's going to be. That Io's getting the title shot at Saturday Night's Main Event. I would presume, this is a prediction, I do think that WWE will give us Liv Morgan versus Rhea Ripley on January 6th, the debut on Netflix for the WWE Women's Heavyweight Championship. That's my prediction. Kathy Kelly attempted to interview Gunther. Balor and Dom interrupted. Balor told Gunther he owes him a title match because he's faced Priest twice and walked out with the belt because of him. He says, therefore, he owes him a title match. Gunther said, this was a very important night for me. I needed to do this on my own. I didn't ask for your help, and I didn't need your help, and I don't owe you. Gunther says all these things, said he had a terrible time leading up to Survivor Series, and he needed to win on his own, and Finn Balor took that from him. He pointed out that unlike Balor, Dominic has scored a win over Damian Priest. So in the background, Dominic is just kind of doing this because Balor says he's now interfered twice in Gunther's matches with Priest, and 2 times he's walked out with the championship, and that makes now 2 times that I helped you. So Dominic was being a very annoying prick, and I'm not sure you want to do that with Gunther. So Gunther says he's feeling he deserves something because Dominic beat Priest and Balor did not. So I'm going to go talk to Adam Pearce, and I'm going to see what I can do. Meaning he's going to get a match with Dominic and give Dominic an opportunity. The one that Balor wants is going to give Dominic the opportunity. Certainly looks like Balor is, again, like I said, certainly looks like Balor is separating himself from the Judgment Day. He may be going rogue very, very soon. The Women's Intercontinental Championship tournament starts tonight, and we got a first-round match happening here. It is Katana Chance, Dakota Kai, and Shayna Baszler. Now, I don't have the women's tournament brackets in front of me. I want to see if I could look it up for you guys so we can go over who is actually in this tournament. And the SmackDown field is looking a lot stronger than the Raw field. That's all I'll say. So we got a match tonight, like I said. Dakota Kai, Shayna Baszler, Katana Chance. That's the first quarterfinal match. In the same bracket, or on the same side, rather, underneath this bracket, we got Zoe Stark, Raquel Rodriguez, and Kaden Carter. So Dakota, we'll get to why and how she won. She advanced. She's in the semifinals. I'm assuming WWE is going to go with Zoe Stark, as I could see Rhea Ripley fucking over Raquel Rodriguez because, the story is that Liv took everything from Rhea. And now Rhea's going to take everything from Liv in the Judgment Day. So I don't think that Raquel is going to go into the second round. I do think that WWE very much is high on Zoe Stark. So I could see Zoe and Dakota go one-on-one. Though I could see Raquel Rodriguez in the second round only because of her relationship with Dakota Kai. They were a previous tag team on NXT. So I don't know if they're going to play into their history or they're just going to have Rhea fuck over Raquel and give Zoe the win. I'm more apt to think Zoe gets the win and she wrestles Dakota because she's the much better wrestler than Raquel Rodriguez is, and I do think that Zoe would bring Dakota Kai to a better one-on-one match. So I'm going with that. On the other side, Lyra Valkyria, Zelina Vega, and Ivy Nile. This is very academic. Lyra Valkyria will go to the semifinals. There's no reason to believe that Zelina Vega will win, and there's no reason to believe Ivy Nile will win. Lyra is going to win. And then we get Alba Fire, Kairi Sane, and Natalya. That is the other quarterfinal match on the same side of that bracket. Natalya's great, but boring. Kairi, I think everybody would love to see Kairi get her flowers. Obviously, she's the best wrestler to me in this bracket. Alba Fire is a former UK Women's Champion in NXT. So I could see Kairi winning and going up against Lyra. I think that would be a great one-on-one match. And that's what we need out of this tournament. Just me physically looking at this bracket and me thinking, the Intercontinental Championship is coined the Workhorse Championship. Not to say Alba Fire is not a workhorse. She's very good. I just think when you look at great matches, I think Kairi and Lyra is where they're going. I think that is the sheer definition of workhorse right there. And then we get Dakota and Zoe. I think Dakota advances to the final. I think we get Dakota and Lyra in the final. I think at the end of it all, Lyra ends up beating Dakota Kai and ends up being the new and first ever women's Intercontinental Champion. So I'm going to go with Lyra winning the title. And you can see that the brackets here, man, it's not really strong. I do think the SmackDown side is a lot stronger. I do think the SmackDown women's division in general is a lot stronger. But Monday night, the one thing that they're going to have a problem with is leading into this tournament, how weak the division is just based off character and story. How are you going to get me to invest in a secondary championship on this show if everybody just comes off as insignificant? They're going to have a lot of work to do to build up all of these women and make them feel special for this Intercontinental Championship. We'll see. I don't want to write it off yet, but it hasn't been great coming on in, and I don't really expect much change after the tournament is over. So, now with that said, Dakota, Shayna, and Katana Chance. This went 8 minutes. This was not bad at all. I was expecting this to be a lot worse because you never know with Dakota Kai. She's not really super over with the fan base in the arena. She's super popular on social media, but she's not over in ring with the audience on the show. There's just this indifference to her. Shayna hasn't been important in any aspect of WWE since the days when she was running NXT's women's division as the NXT champion. I mean, I miss so badly that Shayna Baszler. She was just a fucking savage. So great at what she did. She never really recaptured that. And this group, pure fusion collective, pure garbage collection, there's nothing there. There really isn't anything there. Sonya, she's the leader of that group. She's not even in this fucking tournament. You would figure that she, being the leader, would be in this tournament, but apparently not. She may be one of the challengers for Lyra coming out of this tournament if they really want to create some sort of dialogue. There was some dialogue and some story there before all this tournament with Lyra and that group. They've all been feuding together, so I could see Sonya targeting Lyra at the end of this tournament when she wins the championship. And that'll be her first opponent. And then Katana Chance. I love Katana and I love Kaden. I think they're a great tag team, but the tag team division is basically dead. This is exactly what you're doing. You're portraying them now as singles wrestlers, and the tag team titles right now, they aren't really anywhere. Jade is injured. Quote unquote, injured. What are we doing with the tag team titles? Are we focusing now solely on the two singles championships and not the tag team titles anymore? Are they going away? Are they going to retire the tag team titles? I certainly hope so. I don't know. Katana's great, but this is not really something we've seen a lot from her. First triple threat match I think maybe she's ever been in. And she hasn't really wrestled away from Caden since they've joined together as a tag team. So they go to a double picture-in-picture very early on. Kai, after the break, scored a 2 count on Baszler. Chance tried for a powerbomb. Baszler, she was in the corner, and she tried this powerbomb on Baszler out of the corner as Baszler was setting up a superplex on Kai. Baszler held on, and Kai shoved Baszler to the mat. Katana then sent Dakota to the mat, onto Baszler with a Hurricane Rana. Chance scored a 2 count on Baszler, and then quickly a 2 count on Dakota. Baszler caught a flying Chance. Chance slipped free, rolled up Baszler. Kai broke that up. Baszler then kneed Kai and scored a 2 count, which looked brutal. Flattened her out with a big knee strike. Fans were into this. Surprisingly, fans were into this. Baszler kicked Chance out of the ring. Dakota then rolled Baszler up for 2. Baszler ducked a Kai move and applied a sleeper. I don't know what she was going for, but she transitioned into a sleeper hold. She dropped onto her back. Kai broke free. And then all of a sudden, Chance landed a 450 splash. Not the best looking 450 splash. Onto Shayna Baszler. Kai immediately gave Chance a fireman's carry drop into the up kick for the 1, 2, 3. And Dakota Kai advances in the Intercontinental Championship Tournament. She now sits in the semifinals, and she will go up against who I believe will be Zoe Stark in that tournament. So we will see what happens there. But Dakota Kai is definitely an odds-on favorite to win the Intercontinental title, which I do believe the finals will take place on January 6th on Netflix when they debut on Netflix for Raw. Adam Pearce. He stood middle of the ring, and there was a celebration for the New Day, the most decorated tag team in WWE history. He introduced Kofi and Xavier. And Wade Barrett says there was a decade of devotion, but many think it could end in divorce tonight, given how poorly things have been after their heated argument last week on Raw. So they got the full entrance. New Day rocks being chanted in the arena. Xavier said being a successful part of WWE for 10 years is more than they could have ever dreamed. He thanked the fans for their support. Kofi says it's been one hell of a ride. He says he never dreamed they'd have so much fun while achieving their dreams. He says they couldn't have done any of this without each other and also the fans. So fans chanted Big E, Big E. And Xavier says, yeah, we love him too. Xavier says what they're about to tell the fans is not the fans' fault. He says they have nothing but love for each one of them. Kofi said he and Xavier have talked. And he says they both feel when it comes to the New Day going forward. And they were about to call it quits. Big E, his non-New Day theme music hit. And Tessitore said the timing couldn't have been better. Big E walked out, looked snazzy in a nice suit. Wade Barrett says he's been on the WWE PLE kickoff shows, and they haven't seen him on Raw or SmackDown in nearly 4 years. I don't know where he said 4 years. Maybe he was talking about himself. He says Kofi and Xavier haven't felt like New Day without Big E by their side. Big E thanked the fans. He said he wished he was there under different circumstances because Watching Kofi and Xavier argue and bicker and say hurtful things to each other, Big E says, that troubled my soul, something deep. He says, 10 years ago, all they had were each other. He said Kofi was mulling over retirement because he had this passion for pro wrestling, and that passion was beaten out of him. He told Xavier they were nearly fired together. He said the scariest moment in his career, they were both at the hospital, bedside, making sure he was good. He says he was in a neck brace a few months after Kofi's daughter was born, and he held her. He says after Xavier won King of the Ring, he was the first to greet him as he spilled tears onto his shoulder because it was a lifelong dream of his to win King of the Ring. Big E says until he is medically cleared to return to the ring. Until he is medically cleared to return to the ring. It's the one big caveat in this entire segment, the dialogue. You're going to pick apart that line, until I'm medically cleared. Big E told you that he is working feverishly to get medically cleared. Big E will be back in the WWE ring. There's no ifs. There's no ands. It's a when. When it happens. Until he is medically cleared to return to the ring, he's going to remind them exactly who they are. He says he will be there every week to cheer them and uplift them and serve as their manager. New Day rocks. New Day rocks. Xavier said, now? Now? You waited all these months. You waited after watching what they've been going through. E, you left us. Man, this turned dark very quickly. This turned from hopeful to fucking dark. You left us. Big E's like, I broke my neck. I had my neck broken. Kofi says, you left us, E. It's like I'm watching the fucking Twilight Zone. Yeah, you broke your neck, Kofi says. So what? He said Steve Austin broke his neck and he came back. Kurt Angle broke his neck. He came back. Same with Edge. Xavier says they left the light on for him and he never came home. Big E was obviously bothered by this. Kofi asked if, as big and strong as he is, you never had surgery on that injured neck. Could he really not have returned to the ring? Kofi says he's met with doctors. Sure. Big E's like, I met with doctors, I had scans, x-rays, rehabilitation. Xavier said he tore his Achilles tendon off the bone and had to have surgery, and I was back in 9 months for you. Kofi says if he really truly cared about them, he'd have his back a long time ago, clapping by their side, galvanizing them. He says he chose his new life, his new projects, his new girlfriend, and his new desk job over them. Xavier says, do you even realize the burden you have become to us? Says everyone talks about how much they miss Big E. He said they miss him too, obviously, but he doesn't miss them enough to want to be back. Kofi says their philosophy was the brotherhood above everything else. He said E, broken neck or not, chose himself over them. Xavier says they should stop teasing everyone and tell the truth. You are never going to be medically cleared. Boom. There is your story. Right there. You are never going to be medically cleared. Now Big E all of a sudden has a story after his brothers turned their backs on poor Big E. And since that's the case, why don't you get the hell out of this ring and get back to your desk where you belong? Xavier says If we need you, we'll call you. Big E says he wouldn't let it end that way after a decade of the New Day. He says they can fix it. He offered to hug his brothers. Kofi put his hand up to block Big E. Xavier turned away. Big E muttered like that. Just like that. It's over. Fans chanted, "Big E rocks. Big E rocks." Big E left the ring. Kofi turned to Xavier to face him face to face. Xavier then looked at Kofi and said, "It's just them now." I thought everything about this was fucking great. This was great. You had the emotion in Big E with the real life story in Big E being there, and they turned it into a story. They turned it into a story because he is going to be medically cleared. For all we know, he is medically cleared. We don't know. And they're just letting this play out. We're waiting for this to play out. I did not know if Xavier was going to turn on Kofi or Kofi was going to turn on Xavier. They got us, and they both turned on Big E. Which, in this case, now looking back at it and looking at all the weeks of television, some may say, well, they teased us with one turning on the other, and they teased all these problems. Did they waste our time? No, the answer is no. The answer is no. They told you in the promo exactly what they did. Up until this show, during the week, they talked. They talked. And then when Big E came out, they were about to call it quits. They were about to end the New Day. But when Big E came out, they didn't expect him to be there. But when Big E came out, and when Big E uttered the words, "Until I'm medically cleared, I'm going to be in your corner." So they were going in a direction from the weeks of story that we've been shown on television. They were going in that direction. But then, people are like, did they waste our time? It's like we expected one to turn on the other, and here they turned on Big E. It's like the last few months of television were a waste of time. No. Nobody expected Big E to come out. But when they saw Big E and then they heard Big E, then it became like light bulb went off in their head. Now you want to come back. So they turned their indifference and they turned their decision into frustration towards Big E. And now the story is, until I'm medically cleared. Nah, you ain't getting medically cleared. We all know that's not the case. You'll never be medically cleared. So now it's about Big E being medically cleared, and he's going to prove both Kofi and Xavier wrong. And then obviously they're going to end up feeling bad because they didn't anticipate him being back ever, and the New Day is going to get back together. But I mean, in this 10 years, has the New Day ever been as interesting as they are now? No. And they had some bangers against the Usos, against Luke Harper and Eric Rowan. They've had bangers, man. But this is the richest story that they've told collectively. It's funny enough, it's not with anybody else on the roster. The story, the rich story, the captivating story that has us emotionally is with them. It's about them. Not them against anybody else. Not a title. It's them and the love that they have for each other. Their whole group is built on the power of positivity. The whole group is built on brotherhood. Started out great, then they struggled. Started out great, struggled. Injuries. Big E's neck. Injuries. Struggle. They can't find that winning formula anymore. The brotherhood is confused. The brotherhood ain't there. Big E went down with an injury, so it's easy to take their anger out on him because he hasn't been on television. Now he shows up, wants to be their manager. Fuck you, man. No. Where were you the last 15 months? You've been out. Could have came back anytime you wanted. We were here. You saw us struggling. You knew we were struggling. Where were you? Now it's about Big E getting back, Big E getting clearance, Big E in the Royal Rumble, Big E getting his WrestleMania moment with his brothers, and then the New Day gets their WrestleMania moment and everything is back to normal. Power of positivity will shine through this dark, stormy cloud that is hanging over the New Day right now. This was excellent television. Excellent, excellent, excellent television. Yes, big emotion, says Adam Kahn. Absolutely. This was great. And everybody wondered where this story was going after Odyssey Jones got fired and him taking the place of Big E, right? I don't know if this was an audible or not, if this was the original vision that they had from the get-go before Odyssey Jones joined and then he got fired. They just went back to the original vision. I don't know. It'd be interesting to find out after the fact, but the New Day being heel, I'm gonna get on board. Because you can't turn heel on Big E, man. At this stage of his life, at this stage of his career, knowing what that man went through, it was executed perfectly. Xavier turning on Kofi and Kofi turning on Xavier one way or the other would have been, it's fine. I could see both of them, doing the deed on each other, but turning on Big E, I mean, that's just unheard of, man. Nobody hates Big E. That was the best decision for them to make. I love this. Karrion Kross says in his career, he's done some awful things to people that he's not apologetic for. So he has forgiveness for those who do things to him. He says that his wife doesn't apply to his wife, Scarlett. We got a clip airing last week, angle where Nikki had Scarlett freaking out, and she destroyed the locker room, leaving Scarlett in shambles, only for Kross to find her and her freaking out. Kross says words won't get him what he wants, which is each of the Wyatt Six in the arena next week. He says they started the fire. Now he'll make sure they burn in it. TikTok. I would have preferred to see this at Survivor Series in a straight-up 4-on-4 Survivor Series elimination match, but here we are. We're getting this next week on Raw. Straight-up 8-man tag, and that's what they're going with. I hope it delivers. Because God only knows the Wyatts need something exciting, and the Final Testament, they need to feel important. Because if they don't feel important coming out of this, I don't know where we're going. Gunther and Dominic Mysterio, one-on-one. It looks like Gunther got his match. He went to Adam Pearce and got his match with Dom, Dirty Dom. Match went 7 minutes. Non-title, obviously. Gunther patted Dominic on the head. Crowd laughed because, basically Dom is being embarrassed. Oh, look at the good little boy, man. What the fuck is Dominic Mysterio going to do against Gunther? Really? Dom smacked him. Gunther booted him and was about to powerbomb him into the ring post, but Dominic countered and sent him into the ring post instead, face first. Dominic followed with a suicide dive ahead of a commercial break. We come back from the break. Gunther applied a sleeper after the break. Dominic blocked the referee's view, gave him a low blow. So Dominic pulling out the dirty tactics. Dom followed with a 619 drop kick, another 619, a frog splash. Had the crowd eating out of the palm of his hand, man. After the frog splash, crowd was emphatic about the 3 count. He didn't get it, though. Gunther kicked out. Dominic went for a suplex. Gunther booted him and fucking killed him with a powerbomb. All that, man. All that to get absolutely murdered at the end of the match. 1, 2, 3. Gunther pins Dominic with a powerbomb. Crowd was actually very pro-Dominic here. Cheering Dominic. Balor attacked Gunther after the match, laid him out with 3 coup de grace off the top rope. Balor told Dom, watch and learn, kid. Balor hits his finisher and laid the title belt over Gunther. At the end of the segment, Balor left without Dom. Said this on Saturday. I'm going to reiterate it again. I could see this, obviously, at the end of this segment, we got another announcement. Gunther will defend the World Heavyweight Championship against Finn Balor at Saturday night's main event. It's great. Now we got 3 matches. We got Finn Balor versus Gunther, Liv versus EO, and Cody Rhodes versus Kevin Owens. So we got 3 matches now officially booked for Saturday night's main event. I could see this eventually going and getting back to Priest. Because if you thought Priest and Gunther at Survivor Series with Balor interfering was the end, no. No, Balor is going to get his title match now against Gunther, and we're going to get Priest interfering in Balor shit. And we're probably going to end up getting a triple threat match between Gunther, Priest, and Balor for the World Heavyweight Championship, because there's no winning here. Balor could take out Priest, or Priest could take out Balor. It's always going to come back to the same thing. They're both going to want to take each other out because neither one of them want to see the other with the World Heavyweight Championship. So let's give everybody what they want. Gunther's going to have his matches fucked over because he needs to prove to himself that he could still win on his own. Balor didn't let him do that at Survivor Series. Priest is not going to let him do that at Saturday night's main event. Gunther's going to be pissed off. Adam Pearce is going to be pissed off because he can't have a resolution to this world title program. Let's throw all of them into one match. Let all of them settle their differences. Gunther can beat both of them and be double confident. Priest and Balor could be in the same match. You could kill each other, and whoever's the winner and whoever walks out the champion is the champion. It's exactly where it's going. So we're just going to do tit for tat. Balor and Gunther. Sure, we'll see Priest. And then we'll get a triple threat match between all 3 of them for the World Heavyweight Championship. Or at the Rumble. I mean, the Rumble's in February. We have all of December and all of January to go. I think the Raw on Netflix is a good foundation, a good show for that to happen. Pete Dunne was being interviewed. He's got a one-on-one match with R-Truth coming up, but all of a sudden there was commotion in the background, and Jey Uso was being attacked backstage. Now, he was already on the ground, and everybody was rushing over. You heard pipes and steel hitting the ground and commotion in the background. So Adam Pearce runs over with officials and agents, and Jey Uso is not knocked out. He's conscious. He's like, obviously, laying on the ground. He's holding his head. He's moving about. They asked him, what happened? What happened? What'd you see? Nothing. We didn't get any answer. Ludwig Kaiser. He approached Braun Breaker backstage, who was being interviewed by Kathy Kelly. Kaiser says he was moments away from becoming champion, but that was okay because he accomplished what he set out to do, and that was take out Sheamus. A rib for a rib. Now, there was nothing stopping him from taking the IC title back to Imperium. Braun says he has no problem facing Kaiser and beating him again. Kaiser would have that stupid look on his face, knowing that he would never hold the Intercontinental title the way he wants. He advised Kaiser to get out of Gunther's shadow quickly because Gunther's stock is dropping rapidly. So abandon ship. Are they planting a seed for Kaiser to leave Gunther? I don't know. Next week on Raw, Ria Ripley versus Raquel Rodriguez. Lyra Valkyria and Zelina Vega and Ivy Nile. Triple threat IC title tournament match. And then the Wyatt 6 versus the Final Testament and The Miz. 8-man tag. Sami Zayn confronted Adam Pearce in the back and told him that obviously with Jey being attacked, he wanted to know who was attacked. Or who attacked Jey, rather. Zayn demanded to know who attacked Jey. Pearce says he didn't know. Zayn says, well, I know. I know exactly who did it. And I'm about to kick his ass in that ring right now. So we got our main event. Seth Rollins, Sami Zayn. Main event of this excellent episode of Monday Night Raw. Zayn took most of the match. Rollins eventually got the win, though. And it was a situation where Rollins kind of egged Sami on and took advantage of Sami's weakness. It was more of a storyline than it was an actual match. They went to commercial break after a minute. Zayn's in control. Rollins being caught off guard. Zayn was in control after the break. Hits a blue thunder bomb. Zayn followed with an exploder into the corner, but Rollins finally came back with a super kick. Rollins told Zayn that his fight was with Punk. Zayn slapped him and said, "I know it was you," meaning that he knows Rollins attacked Jey. Rollins drove him into the ring post, but moments later, Zayn booted Rollins and drove him into the post. Zayn grabbed the chair and threatened to hit Rollins for attacking Jey, but Rollins said it wasn't him. Just standing there with a chair, he wants to blast Rollins with a chair. "Not me, it's not me. I didn't attack Jey." Rollins talked him into putting the chair down. Zayn dumped the chair on the outside. He turned back around to Seth. He lifted Seth up. Seth caught him off guard with a small package. 1, 2, 3. And Seth beat Sami Zayn. Not much to it. Like I said, it was more of a story angle than anything. They've had much better matches in the past. After the match, Rollins is looking at Sami Zayn, who looks defeated. He's got his head in his hands. Can't believe he lost. Rollins told Zayn he loves his heart, but he needed to start using his head. Now, Rollins left the ring. Sami was laid in the ring all by himself. After Rollins left, someone in a hoodie entered the ring in a very fierce manner. Claymore kick. Laid out Sami Zayn. Rollins at that point was long gone. He wasn't going back in there. Who the fuck would want to? This hooded individual obviously revealed himself to be Drew McIntyre. Camera zoomed in on Drew McIntyre as the show, this excellent episode of Monday Night Raw, came to an end. Now, why did Drew McIntyre kick Sami Zayn in the face? Did he attack Jey Uso? I don't know. Rollins, he didn't attack Jey Uso. Drew McIntyre, I guess it could be a potential that he attacked Jey Uso, but he's the easy answer. Why would he attack Jey and then attack Sami? I mean, it makes sense. Maybe he's now going after everybody that's befriended CM Punk. Maybe he can't get Punk. Maybe he can't get revenge on Punk. He could. I don't know what's stopping him. Maybe he can't get revenge on Punk because Punk beat him and ended that story. And now he's taking his anger out on everybody that befriended CM Punk and that CM Punk team with. I don't know. Clearly, he spared Rollins. He had nothing to do with Rollins. Rollins hates Punk. The fuck does McIntyre want to take out Rollins for? Rollins hates Punk. They both hate Punk. But was it even Rollins? We don't even know. Could be. I guess we'll find out soon. Was it the Bloodline? Maybe it was Paul Heyman. Maybe it was The Rock. I don't know. But WWE left this with a cliffhanger after 2 tremendous story-driven segments on Monday night with CM Punk and Seth Rollins, and then obviously Big E, Xavier Woods, and Kofi Kingston. This was great. Excellent Raw. Loved everything about this. I appreciate you guys joining me on this Monday night, man. We are going to get into the Super Chats in just a second. But first, there is just a little something I want to get off my chest here. You know, everybody that watches me knows that I specifically, 100% of the time, always talk about creative. It's always about the creative and what we see on television. I reviewed Survivor Series on Saturday night, and I was very vocal on social media. I was very vocal on my podcast on Saturday night, live here in front of all you guys, about the women's War Games match. It was awful. Every bit of it was lazy. I went over it in detail about what was wrong, what they did wrong, the decisions that they made that were wrong, and everybody's performance. I specifically zoned in on Nia Jax because the first 25 minutes of the show were killed by sloppy, incoherent garbage for 25 minutes. So much so that Nia Jax and everything that was done in that ring around Nia Jax sucked the life out of a pay-per-view that everybody and their mother was looking forward to because of the story that was going to potentially come out of it. So I see everything that happened, and I voiced my concern, and I voiced my opinion. I give you the utmost criticism, positive criticism about what went wrong. That's all I did on Saturday. On Sunday, I wake up. I see EO Sky tweet out the same picture or a picture of the same trash can that she put over her head like she usually does. This is the EO trash can spot in War Games. She goes to the top of the cage and she jumps off and does over the moonsault with the trash can, which she did on Saturday. I took the still image and I posted it on my page with the caption of, "This should be Nia Jax's new profile picture." This is exactly what I posted. You guys want to see. Right here. Look at that. Nia Jax. This should be Nia Jax's new profile picture. So Nia Jax, because you have cretins in the thread adding Nia, are bringing attention to this for whatever reason, because, you know, some people just want to watch the world burn. They don't care. They're not fans of the show, and they've been blocked accordingly. You snitch tag to me in my thread on my Twitter feed, you will be blocked. It is lame. It is pathetic. It is childish. So Nia saw this, and she says, "Oh my God, those are my colors. Thank you. When you get into a ring, entertain people, leave your family, miss out on life events, pour your blood, sweat, and tears to do so. I want to be front row because regardless of the outcome, I want to congratulate you on being vulnerable." Not quite the burn that everybody thought it was. And mind you, let me go back to my image. My image and my tweet accumulated 1.1 million views at the time of the screenshot of me taking this screenshot of this picture. Nia's, his 981,000. Every time people tweet me, every time people tweet about me, it is always some end of the world, doom and gloom. Oh my God, I don't believe he said that. Oh my God, what an asshole he is. Oh my God, JD's a piece of shit. I had Bully Ray get into my mentions, and I love Bully Ray. I think Bully Ray is great. I think Dave LaGreca is great. I think Busted Open's great. I listen to Busted Open quite regularly, to be quite honest with you. And I've said time and time and time and time again, it is a dream of mine, a desire of mine to one day be on Sirius. We got the talent, we got the look, we got the voice, we got the attitude. It's a dream of mine. I made that very abundantly clear year over year over year over year. It's always my New Year's resolution. Work towards that. That's what I want to be. That's where I want to go. Full-fledged, nationwide, take the brand to the next level. Bully Ray tweeted me. I don't have a screen cap of his tweet, but we will read it because he was all over my page. And Bully Ray said, "Not cool. One day you're going to cross paths with some of these real deal pro wrestlers you take unnecessary shots at on this app. Please be guided accordingly." Bully, with all due respect, my opinion is strictly based on a match performance and the match itself. I did not intend for people to be animated on what I thought was widespread similar criticisms. The match wasn't good. I don't take unnecessary shots. My opinion is my opinion. He says, "Your tweet of a garbage can saying this should be Nia's new profile picture is not a criticism. It's an outright insult. And for no good reason. Do the right thing, JD. Apologize. Trust me." Chat, I'm telling you all right now and everybody listening to me, I am not fucking apologizing. I will never apologize. And you could fucking wait till you're gray in the fucking face and sitting in a rocking chair somewhere, fucking sipping on some Everclear or whatever, moonshine. I ain't apologizing. There's nothing for me to apologize for. I don't understand the rhetoric. And then obviously this was picked up by Cultaholic and SE Scoops and every other major fucking outlet that needs clicks for the day because, gee, what did JD say now? Gee, what did JD do now? Some of these reports didn't even name me by name because they know. Sucks to be them, huh? They won't give me any press. Some of these reports labeled me as the user or another fan. No, bitch, I'm JD from New York. Get it right. You know, the same guy that fucking pulls the numbers more so than Cultaholic and everybody else in the fucking community, but you won't acknowledge what we do here. Oh, JD's only seeking attention. That's why he does what he does. No. No, I don't seek attention. In fact, I don't want any fucking attention. What the fuck do I need attention for when we're the best at what we do? I don't need anybody coming at me with this type of bullshit. But the thing is, I have said so much worse in the past. I know I've said so much worse in the past. Yet this, a picture of a fucking garbage can, over criticisms of what was a terrible match, that's what got me into hot water and made me go viral with 1.1 million views on my tweet. And I'm left asking, why? Why? I don't understand how soft people are. I genuinely, it is a genuine concern of mine how everybody is so pussified in the entire IWC. Nobody does anything with any shred of credibility. Nothing. Nobody acts like themselves. Everybody is fake. The entire community that you interact with is fake. Fake. Fake as a $2 bill. That's what they are. Everybody that you watch that's live with me, outside of maybe one or two people, maybe, you know who they are. I'm not even going to mention them here. I work with one on Tuesday night. Everybody but him and maybe one other. They're all fake. The live streams you watch, fake. The criticisms that they give, fake. Are they being genuine? No, they're fake. All the reaction streamers that you watch, every single one of them, fake. They're paid by WWE to react to their content. They're paid by WWE to react the way that they do. There's no human being alive that acts that way in a genuine manner. It's not real. I have given you every shred that I have of myself in the most honest, upfront way. From a passionate fan who loves the product, who hates the product when it's bad, loves the product when it's good, has always been straight up and down with you guys every step of the way. And I said it last week, if you hate me for anything else. Never hate me for me being honest and me being myself. The IWC hates people who stand on their own. The IWC hates when people are a little bit too truthful and people come a little bit too close to the sun in regards to what they talk about. One day, 1 week, I'm an AEW shill. And I'm a WWE hater. The next week, I'm an AEW hater and a WWE shill. Can't win. Can't get it right. Which one is it? Which one is it? Half the people that say these things don't watch me. Have never watched me. I don't understand why a statement like that is even uttered. How could you sit there with a straight face and say that I'm an AEW shill and a WWE hater? Now I'm a WWE shill and an AEW hater. Like, I didn't give Vince and Bruce and Johnny Ace the fucking headache that I did. I didn't give him and that administration the venom that I did for years. Most of which I built my reputation and my channel off of. Nobody remembers that though, right? Now apparently I hate Tony Khan and I'm pro Triple H. I've been always pro Triple H. You could go back to my first fucking NXT Black and Gold review. I've always been pro Triple H. Me before anybody else, I've been preaching to the choir that Triple H is going to take over the company and the company's going to be better off with him running it than Vince McMahon. Go back and find it. It's in the archives. Said it from day one. Not my fucking fault. I've been proven right every step of the way. Or how about this? Maybe I'm enjoying WWE content better than I am enjoying Tony Khan's bullshit product. Called out the wrong in WWE. Now you don't expect me to call out the wrong in AEW because, why? I was once one of you? Motherfucker, I'm one of one. I don't associate with sickos. I don't associate with the Fed. I don't associate with none of you fucking no-life, having fucking low-life losers. All you have is this. All you have is pro wrestling. All you have is AEW. So pardon me if I sit here and I shit on something that AEW does. I'm sorry. There are 1,000 other fucking podcasts that talk about pro wrestling, and none of them will measure up to what I do. So if you want someone to blow smoke up your fucking ass, then go listen to someone blow smoke up your ass. If you want an adult conversation with real human emotion, then you come and watch me. Now, going back to Nia. Everybody up and down this thread, she quote tweeted me, and you got Samantha Irvin tweeting, oh, but nobody's watching JD. Honey, let me tell you something. Nobody's watching JD. Nobody's watching your husband. Nobody's watching your husband at all. He went to a dying company run by a fucking half-witted idiot who's making easy money, robbing the man blind, and Ricochet stock fell from where it was in WWE to basically bankrupt in AEW. Go wrestle in Japan and see how well it works out for him. Nobody gives a shit. Nobody cares. Nobody gives a single shit. Meanwhile, I don't know. We had, 4,000 plus on Saturday night. Every fucking stream, people are here. More than anybody else in the community, you line up to see what I have to say every single week, every single month, year over year, and it's going to continue to be that way because people want honesty and people want real. You rarely get that in the wrestling community. Rarely. Everybody's fake. Everybody's disingenuous with their audience. Everybody's looking for a quick engagement farm. And everybody's looking to be uber positive for the sake of fucking holding a relationship with these fucking people that will never care about them at all. I don't care. I don't. I don't care to work for AEW. I don't care to work for WWE. I don't care. If you can't appreciate what I do and what I say and how I do my shit, then fuck off. At the end of the day, I lay my head down and I go to sleep, and I know I had a great stream, and I know I have great people, and I know wherever I go, people are going to be there to support me. Because I busted my ass to get here. So if I heard to say, oh, but nobody's watching JD, I'm sorry. I would rattle an audience 10 times more than Nia Jax did on Saturday night. Clearly I did. I got 1.1 million views and I went viral. Over a picture of a fucking trash can. Everybody up and down that thread is a fucking clueless fucking idiot. They don't watch me. They went to the lowest hanging fruit of insults. Oh, let me desecrate his dead cat's image. Oh, let me desecrate his cat dying. I had pictures of people pissing on imaginary graves over Bacardi's grave, an image. I had people claiming that I was an asshole. I had people claiming, well, I don't see you being a pro wrestler. Her. It looks like JD can't get up out of his chair. Her. I'm sorry. Where do I look like a fat slob? Where do I look like I can't be in an athletic competition? Do you got fucking goggles on that? I don't know. Who are you looking at? What are you actually looking at? I'm in the gym weekly. I try and stay active weekly, and you got these boneheaded fucking idiots tweeting whatever. Oh, my queen, bury him. Oh, you're a queen, Nia. Oh, you're so great, Nia. I mean, bot after bot after bot after bot. I didn't know whether to fucking laugh or cry over the sake of these people having no fucking life. Imagine going on social media and claiming to another human being, oh, you're my queen, Nia. Never in 1,000 lifetimes would I call anybody my queen or king. You've already ousted yourself as a fucking absolute fucking incel in every sense of the word. I don't really understand these people. And here's the thing for you. You thought I'm not positive on Nia? You thought the trash can was my true thoughts and my true negativity on Nia Jax? I'm sorry, where the fuck were you 3 weeks ago when Nia wrestled Naomi in the main event of Friday Night SmackDown for the women's title? Where was Nia Jax then? Where was the criticism, the positive criticism of what Naomi and Nia Jax did there? Did I hear a peep? Did I get 1.1 million views on my positivity that Nia Jax had a great match with Naomi in the main event of SmackDown 3 weeks ago? Or what about Nia and Becky Lynch earlier in the year? Did anybody go and clip that positive thought? Or what about Nia and Jade at the Royal Rumble? Or Nia and Jade earlier before WrestleMania when they got into that little back and forth? What about Nia and Rhea at the Elimination Chamber? Does anybody want to go dig up that where I claimed it was Nia's best match since her WWE return? Somebody go find the archives in which I've praised Nia Jax more times this year than I have fucking fingers on my hands. But none of these people in her thread even realized that these positive things were said. Yet an image of a trash can, which is criticism on her performance from the night before. Everybody wants to blow that up and use that as, yes, this is the ammunition to cancel him. Bitch, you ain't canceling me. The Alexa Bliss situation to get me canceled. Your fucking Mario Kart fucking videos that you still see floating around didn't get me canceled. Fuck off. I'm not going nowhere, and you can continue to try and do it. I ain't going nowhere. You know, because Nia Jax tweeted me what she did, it's not the ultimate burn like you guys think it is. All she needed to do was own up to the fact that her performance was miserable. Yes, I know, guys, I had an off night. I'll do better. I'll do better next time, I promise. Instead of riling up the fan base in a positive way, she riled up the fan base in a negative way, creating this fucking stereotype that I'm evil to everybody in the community and gives off the impression that nobody wants to work with me and everybody thinks JD is the worst. One of the most misunderstood individuals in the entire community, because everything I say, everything that is positive, it goes in one ear and out the other. They don't want that. They don't want that. That's not good content. But who I am and everything that I have ever done is on this channel. All you have to do is look for it. So many people out there wanting me to change. Oh, it's your delivery. It's the way you say things. It's the way you accentuate. It's your anger. It comes off personal. Here's personal for you. Fuck you. Go fuck yourself. It's my delivery. So why? I got people actively wanting me to change who I am. Oh, you got to change your delivery and the way you speak. No, I don't, bitch. Maybe you need to go find someone else to fucking listen to. And you know what? The funny thing is you always find yourself right back here. My audience hasn't dwindled. They haven't gone anywhere. My numbers have gone up. This is the biggest year that I've ever had in every aspect, in every fucking piece of metric since I've started this full time. So please tell me, where the fuck is my audience going? This way. Might not be as fast as we want it to be, but it's going this way. And so is my bank account. And everybody who claims, oh, JD's fallen off, JD's the worst, JD's this, JD's that. Correct me if I'm wrong, chat. Hasn't Jim Cornette legitimately called Nia Jax a fucking refrigerator? And moving Nia Jax is that of which is like moving a couch? I don't see these clips. I mean, the algorithm on X gives me everything pro wrestling related. I see fucking shit from people I could not give a single fuck about. You would think that I would see these clips floating around on social media from Jim Cornette calling Nia Jax a fucking refrigerator. And Nia Jax is as big as a couch. I don't see these clips floating around. But the fucking picture of a trash can gets fucking blown up into epic proportions because everybody needs something to be angry about. Oh, it's JD. Let's try and cancel him. Fuck him. This is it. You are willingly looking for something to be angry about, and you got nothing. The trash can had everything to do with her performance on Saturday night and nothing more. Because I'll dead you right there. Spoke positive about Nia Jax through most of the run. Most of the run. The only thing I did not like was her feud with Bayley because it lasted way too long. Her feud with Liv Morgan, her match with Liv Morgan at Crown Jewel, what she did at War Games. She's gotten progressively worse after starting off the year. Impressive. But now it's a problem because I'm positive. Once nobody hears it, now I'm negative, and that's all anybody cares about. The community is soft. The community is nothing more than woke incels who fucking, at the slightest of criticisms, they all band together like a bunch of half-witted fucking mental degenerates, and they all look to raise their torches in defend of Nia Jax. Nia Jax doesn't give one single fucking iota of a shit about you. Who the fuck are you defending? This woman doesn't give a shit if you're dead or alive. She doesn't give a shit if you wake up tomorrow morning or if you don't. But you're all going to defend Nia as if you're her next door neighbor and you get her newspaper every morning. What type of society, what type of community have we devolved into? I don't understand it. The world is soft. The community is soft. You're not going to get that here. If you don't like it, go watch somebody else. How irritating is it for you to listen to somebody spew positivity and nothing's wrong with the product? Oh, this was great. Comes off in a fucking very forced and manufactured manner with a tone that is just disingenuous. Oh, I don't like JD's yelling. Yeah, I'm yelling because I didn't like the fucking show. Yeah, I'm yelling because this is my way of accentuating myself. Monday Night Raw was great, guys. New Day was a great segment. Kofi and Xavier, they surprised me, man. I didn't expect them to turn on Big E. You know, you don't want me to yell. You don't want me to yell. It's my delivery. I curse too much. This and that. I'm sorry I don't deliver your podcasting requirements. Clearly, we're doing something right if my fucking tweet accumulated 1.1 million views. Man, I upset a lot of fucking people over a simple image of a fucking item I could go into Home Depot and walk down aisle 7 and pick up and fucking put in my front lawn. So many people bothered by what others say on social media, and then you have no real context of what I'm actually thinking. If you want to know what I'm thinking, watch the fucking product. Watch the show. Watch me. The image of the trash can got everybody. But the simple fact of the matter, my first tweet for Survivor Series was that Nia Jax is fucking awful. Nobody said a peep about that. No, but the image of a Home Depot item got everybody riled up. You fucking break. Ridiculous. Community is absolutely fucking as cancerous as it's ever been. Go to Blue Sky. If you want to be soft, go to Blue Sky, man. Get the fuck off my platform. You make it divide about everything else, man. Everything else is division. Go over there. You don't want to hear all upfront, honest human beings, real human beings. Go over there. Go live in your fucking echo chamber. Go live in your bubble, man, where there's no negativity seeping in. The world we live in is negative. You wake up and the first thing you hear is negativity. Tonight's show sponsored by Into the AM. Into the AM is great, man. Black Friday sale, Cyber Monday sale, 60% off, up until December 8th. IntoTheAM.com/scripts. You're going to save 60% off site-wide. And you know what? When you use my link, you're going to save an extra 10% off. Let me tell you something, man. They're performance joggers. Legitimately, the best jogging pants I have ever purchased myself. Ever. So much so, I can't wait to put them back on. They're that comfortable. Fucking sleep in them. Go get yourself some great shit, man. They got some great graphic tees. They got some great gym wear. They got some great polo shirts. The joggers. You name it, man. IntoTheAM.com/scripts. Go and save yourself some money this holiday season. We hit the goal. Super chats. Let's get into them. Michael Krause with a $2 super chat. JD and the OTS. Oh, by the way, this is another thing. I was seeing thrown about on social media today. Oh, Nia can't win. Everybody wants Nia to be a little bit easy on her opponents. Now everybody wants Nia Jax to be fucking hard on her opponents. This is the rebuttal of a fucking idiot. Nobody asks Nia Jax to be soft. Nobody. Nobody asks Nia Jax to be fucking going in there and injuring people like she was in her first run. She was reckless. We wanted her to be less reckless. But if you're going into a War Games match with the simple fact of the matter that the first word in the title is war, and then you swing a steel chair like you're swinging a fucking pillow fighting a 3-year-old, many adults are going to have a problem with that. So it's not the fact of the matter that, oh, we wanted her to be less hard. We'll go easy on people. One month it was, oh, she's too rough. Now she's not rough enough. Which is it? This is someone admitting defeat in the argument and basically ousting themselves as a clueless fucking hack. Then don't do the match. Don't be in the match. Don't schedule the match. Don't have a War Games. If you don't want women swinging steel chairs and foreign objects, then don't put foreign objects in a women's match. Maybe you should just did what I suggested and do a traditional 5-on-5 elimination match for Survivor Series. But you got what you got. You got my opinion on the matter, and you're going to continue to get my opinion on the matter when it's that bad. So if you hear the narrative of, oh, now she's not hard enough. Meanwhile, everybody wanted her to be less. Sure thing, man. Thanks for proving that you got one brain cell. May 59 months. Oh, my goodness. Thank you, brother. Michelle Moran with a $2 super chat. Seth told no lies, and so we begin Seth Punk at WrestleMania. Could be. Monday Night Raw on Netflix. Nothing is off the table there. Nothing. DC with a $6.99. Cheers, JD. At some point, Roman has to step up. It's all the shit talking Seth has been spewing over the years. Do you see their paths crossing in 2025? It depends on if Rollins gets drafted to SmackDown. If he does, yes. But there's a lax brand split, so their paths might cross in the next 6 months. DC, thank you, brother. Apex with a $1.99. Seth Drew versus Sami and Jey at Saturday night's main event. Punk watches. Yes, Seth is kind of venturing down that road of heel. Not yet, though. He's venturing down that heel road, man. Dom Wapo with a 17 months. The New Day segment was hard to listen to, but beautiful storytelling. Probably my top storyline in WWE right now. Had to hold back tears at the gym. It was great. Michelle. Drew attacks those that teamed with Punk. Drew rules. That's what I initially thought, that it was going after everybody that teamed with Punk. So Punk has no friends. Beyond the script with 37 months, Raw was so good. No one is above the law. Also with a $4.99, AEW 536K, but we got a TV deal. You know, I'm gonna say this in the nicest way possible, beyond the script. What I do here is genuine. I've been through the ringer. I've been through the terrible Raws. I've been through the terrible Dynamites. I become quite agitated when people call me bad faith. I am not bad faith. You just can't handle criticism, and you don't want to hear an open, upfront conversation about why your product is fucking terrible. I will gladly have that conversation with anybody. Did it with WWE, doing it with AEW, and will continue to do it with AEW until they get better. And there's no hope for them getting better because nothing's going to change there. But when I see you and I see others, it comes off as bad faith. I see others doing it, and I see it just as engagement farming and you wanting to rile up the audience because you know that there are pennies to be made on the AEW hatred. Me, I've always stuck to my guns no matter what company it is. If it's good, if it's bad, if it's in between. Don't be a bad faith influencer. It's not a good look. Tony Brown with a $4.99. I'm glad the New Day healed up, man. They were overdue, and again, Liv's great ass rules. Liv is beautiful. I will give you that, Tony. Hidden Network with a super chat. He says, did Triple H wake up from a coma and immediately get to work? This show was incredible from start to finish, with Drew delivering the perfect final touch. Hashtag OTS for life. I think Triple H has got a solid plan in place, and like WrestleVote said, I don't know why you would compromise a pay-per-view as being just mediocre, but WrestleVote's basically alluded to Survivor Series being that way on purpose. I don't know why you would fill 18,000 people and charge premium plus tickets, but that's what they did. Beyond the script with the $4.99, TK handed over to Shane. Enough. He ain't handing over to anybody. The company dies with Tony Khan. Tribal Chief with 16 months. JD, I met C. Thomas Howell. You know, Stay Gold Pony Boy, Wolverines. He's not a big wrestling fan, but he watches. So I told him about OTS, pal. I appreciate it, man. Thank you. Get the word of mouth out there. It's one of the best ways to get the podcast out there. Rabbit with a $5 super chat. This Raw shows why story is king in wrestling. OTS for life. Absolutely. MGM balling with a $4.99. Missed opportunity to have Big E do his "Don't You Dare Be Sour" intro instead of his garbage Def Rebel theme. You will hear that again, ballin'. You will definitely hear that again. The King Ellie show with a $4.99. Looks like this may be the best Mania season under Triple H so far after tonight. Story is king. Yes, yes, yes. Some understand it, some don't. Brody NY with a $10 super chat. The Rock being the one that attacked Jey is the creative that should be, or should have happened. Left as a cliffhanger until Saturday night's main event. Appreciate what you do, JD. Can't rule out The Rock, bro. Can't rule him out. Eminem, I appreciate you, brother. I see you. Beyond the Script with a $4.99. TK got bothered because I asked about the ratings. Who's laughing now, Tony? See, Beyond the Script, that's bad faith. That's you actively pursuing Tony purposely in the mentions. Why do you need to add anybody? You don't see me adding anybody. I never add anybody. On a rare occasion, when I feel like it'll make the most impact, I'll add somebody. Stop the bad faith narrative, please. It's really not a good look. It's not. Han with a $5 super chat. They needed a strong Raw after a so-so PLE, and baby, they threw a hate maker at us. Stories matter, TK, but happy with 536K. OTS number 1, JD number 1, TK Hawk Tua. Yeah. Thank you, Han. Black Wolf with a membership. Thank you, brother. I saw your message earlier. Bro, I don't know why you can't send the super chat. I have no idea, bro. It's definitely a YouTube thing. Let me check. You're not no, you're good to go, man. I don't understand it. Moretz with a 30 months. Thank you, brother. Adam Casper, once again, brother, thank you for the 100 in super chat. Nate's with the 199. My birthday is today, and Raw delivered tonight. Happy birthday to Nate. Mr. Team Bringer with a 499. Who's the main guy you would book to be the top guy in AEW? Adam Page, MJF. Dan Tanner with a new membership. Thank you, Dan. Appreciate you. Arcade the Hedgehog with a 5. AJD, can you repeat that awesome rant you did about the AEW writer? Should never write for anything ever again. That was the best. Why do I need to repeat it, Arcade, when you can go back and watch it? It was literally on Wednesday's show. The one thing you guys need to understand is when I'm in the moment and I deliver something the first time, and it's never going to be the same way if I deliver that same speech, rant, or fucking dialogue the second time. Never. Alex, thank you for the 139, brother. Appreciate you as always. Thank you to my super chat bombs tonight. Phil with a 5. This show was fantastic. Brilliant story telling us whether to stay the opening segment or the New Day segment was better. Well done, Papa H. How about both were great? Wrestling Russ with a $10 super chat. Do you think The Rock could be behind Drew's attack on Jey and Sami? Well, I mentioned that tonight. The seed could have been planted when The Rock gave him the sword as a gift when Drew re-signed. Happy holidays. I would not be surprised if The Rock is in some way, shape, or form behind a lot of the things that we see. WrestleMess with a 199. Rikishi attacked Jey. He did it for The Rock. No. Don Parker with a $10 super chat. Triple H showed how story and long-term booking can elevate a wrestling show to an emotional joyride. This was great tonight. The show has made me remember why I love wrestling. OTS for life. Story is king, Don. You don't got it, you don't got shit. Yori with a 5. JD, in your opinion, who would win? Gunther or Prime Kurt Angle? Also, TK, take notes. Real story. Go cry me a river. I'm going Gunther. Lauren with a 2. WrestleMania seeds are finally being planted. Yes, and they will blossom into a beautiful cherry blossom. WrestleMess with a 199. Cody, Rock for the WWE title. Punk, Cena for 17. Anything is a possibility. Lauren with a 5. Don't really like Punk, but he does bring the entertainment. Punk took a page out of Roman's book when he quoted, "I haven't thought about you at all." That's a good thought. I didn't think of that. Apex with the 199. Punk turning everyone against Seth. Drew, glorious. Mr. Team Bring It with a 199. I feel Gunther was a bigger deal with the IC title. Because he was. It was more for him to do in the mid-card than it is at the top of the card. STFU Hippie with a 199. JD, so glad Nakamura won the title. Loving the new look. Yeah, his new look is great. I just don't care. Apex with the 199 times 3. 6 in Super Chat. JD, how would you eventually turn Dom face? It all is going to rely on Finn. I think people are ready to cheer Dom, especially if Balor becomes an obsessive prick. All you need to do is show real human emotion, man. If one person is being done dirty by another, people will choose the sides. Just let it play out. Maybe a prodigal son type of storyline with him and Ray. And Sami worked with Roman, Punk, and Drew hates that. Yeah. That's an easy shoo-in for him to come back to television. Lewis with a $2 Super Chat. Drew attacking could be his way going to SmackDown. Could be. HLG30 with a 2. New heel faction. Seth Owens and Drew. I like the sound of that. David with 8 months. JD, how about a Rollins KO Drew heel faction? They all hate the Bloodline and Punk. Maybe Orton can join them too after he turns on Cody. Sick group. I like the way you guys think. Maybe set up for next year's War Games already. Michael Krause with a $2 Super Chat. JD, you are real. That's why we are here. I know, Michael. And if I wasn't real, I'd see myself out. OmegaCon with a $5 Super Chat. Honestly, I think come 2025, you should be a lot meaner like back in the day. I will be on your behalf. Some people should be confronted physically. Bro, nobody will ever confront me physically. Nobody. It's never going to happen. I never met one hater. Ever. Normally, I don't even go to shows. Nobody has said anything derogatory or mean to me anywhere. They don't exist. Twitter is not real. Marvin Malit with a 15. Hey, JD, I listen to your stream every week, and I appreciate your honesty. It made me look at pro wrestling in a different way, and now I really appreciate long-term storytelling. Changing one fan at a time, Marvin. Love it. Love it. DJ with a 499. It's okay, JD. Speak your mind and keep doing what you're doing. Fans are just soft nowadays, but love the attitude. Bronx Made with 499. A lot of people don't know the JD from the COD Gaming, LOL. This is a normal rant. Followed him during them times. Keep working, JD. I still get like that when I play Call of Duty. Not as aggressively. And some of the stuff I said back then I can't say now. Because that type of stuff was socially acceptable then. Now it's not. So you still get the same emotion. Mr. New with a 5. You and Corny are my favorites in this space. Not because I agree with everything you two say. Probably not even half. It's the truth and passion you two have. I appreciate that, noob. Thank you very much, man. Cornette's got a great podcast. I listen to it. Sometimes I'll put them on when I'm in bed and I just fall asleep to it. And I pick it right up in the following morning and have my coffee. Scorpio with a 5. Laughing my ass off. AEW's not copying the Jade Cargill story with Camille. Who attacked Camille? Get the fuck out of here. Tony Khan sucks. I'm sorry, man. By the way, free Stokely. Tony is a clueless hack. Tony only wants grifters and yes men around him. He only wants positive podcasters who will praise what he does. That's why I'm not at the scrums. And he only wants people on his roster that are team players. This is why if you befriend Cody or CM Punk, you're basically in the fucking gulag with AEW. Omega Kong with $5 super chat. People always have a problem with you, but not once they praise you when you compliment them. Selective outrage. I hate it. I will defend you to the end. Omega, thank you, brother. That means a lot to me, bro. It is selective outrage. I don't hear these people say anything when I'm positive. It's always when I'm negative. But I just said something was positive a few weeks ago. What happened to you guys then? That's right. You were fucking quiet as a church mouse. You half-witted moron. None of these people listened to me. I took nothing that they said offensively to heart. Cool, bro. $1.99. Feel like we got seeds planted for Sami versus Punk. Nah. I don't think so. Adam Khan. The real Khan. With a $10 super chat. No message. Thank you, Adam. Toya ain't nice. $2 super chat. Raw was great. Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday to Toya in the chat. Enjoy your day of birth. Brendan Watson with a $4.99. Can you say double chocolate chunk cookies? Chris with a $1.99. Drew being Rock's sword. I could see it. I could see it. Imagine that. Right hand of the devil himself. Johnny Bishop with a $5 super chat. Raw was a great show. Also, a very dense 2 hours of wrestling TV. If they always have this much story to tell, I think 3 hours will be okay. Sure. Sure. We're going back to 3 hours. Don't worry. Trey, the Trillist, with the 20 months. Can we just turn Seth heel already? It's coming. I prefer Punk being a heel, but he can't be heel yet. Seth is going to go heel first. Bobby Means with a 1 month. I'm thinking some call-ups, JD, will fix the Raw women's division. I think so, too. Start with Roxanne and Cora Jade. And maybe Sol Ruka. And Phil Dog with a new membership. Thank you, Phil. Not a fan of that Los Angeles Dodgers emblem in your profile picture, but I'll let it slide tonight. Thank you, brother. Guys, thank you very much, man, for all your support. Tremendous stream tonight. Had upwards towards 3,800 people in here. There's a reason why we're number one. Fightful could go higher, Ibu, and we still blew them out of the water 5 times more over. Nobody can touch us. 0. And that's going to be the trend going into 2025, man. You're here because of the reasons I listed. Honesty, upfront, real, truthful. You don't like it? Go kick rocks. Go color outside the fucking lines in your coloring book, man. Get the fuck away from me. This pussified fucking IWC, man. I can't fucking stand it. I'm ashamed to even be a part of the fucking community. Selective outrage. That's all it is, man. I don't hear a fucking peep from any of these people when I say something positive. Nothing. Thank you guys for a great stream. Follow me on social media at JD from NY206. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Cameo. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for all notifications. Make sure you guys continue to hit that thumbs up. Appreciate it. Thank you for the super chat, love. Tomorrow, Jason and I will be live. Episode 75 of TNT. Clone Force. KO will align himself with The Rock to get at Cody. No. Go check out all the videos on the channel, guys. Plenty of it. And make sure you guys leave me a comment down below, and I will see you right back here tomorrow on TNT episode number 75, man. I'll see you guys tomorrow.